Okay, Ray. What I need to go through now with you is a fitness appraisal. And the first fitness appraisal is your blood pressure. And to do that, I'll be putting on a cuff on your arm. And what that'll do is it'll stop the blood running through your arm. It can feel a little uncomfortable at first while we pump it up, but then I'll be releasing the pressure, and I'll be taking a reading of that. What I'm looking for are two readings. The first reading is called systolic reading, and that is the higher end. It's where your heart is contracting, and generally it's a high reading. The second reading that I'll be taking is called the diastolic, and that is the lower end reading, and that's when the heart is in relaxation. And then I'll be putting those two results together, and from the chart, get an indication of your blood pressure. The reason we do this is determine your blood pressure. We found that having high blood pressure is a direct correlation to chronic diseases like diabetes and cardiovascular diseases. So yeah, we'll get that reading for you. So you okay for me to go ahead?
Yep.
Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is put on this cuff on your arm. And you want to put this cuff on not too tight, not too loose either. I'm putting on this just so I can listen to those sounds. Just directly under there. So what I'm going to do first is just pump up the cuff. This is where you might feel a little bit of discomfort. And now I'm just going to release it slowly. That wasn't too bad.
No, it wasn't.
Stop your arm. Great. So the two readings that I've got, the systolic reading was 110, and your diastolic reading was 78. So if you have a look at the chart here, you can see that you want to be below 120, which you were at 110, and your diastolic has to be below 80. So your reading was 110 over 78, so that's in the normal range, so you've got no risk factor there. Okay, Ray, if I can get you to step onto the scales just so I can get your weight. Great, that's 50 kilograms. If I get you to step off and just to the right here against the wall, I can get your height. Just going to use this tape measure and ruler to get a more accurate reading. And that is 155 centimetres. So from the height and weight, we can get your BMI, and to calculate your BMI, we get your height and we convert it to metres. So we times that by itself, and then we get the weight and divide the height into that, and you'll come out with your BMI reading. Your BMI reading is 20.8. And if you have a look at the scale over here on the right, you're in the normal range, and dead smack in the middle. So which is good, no worries there. Next we're going to look at your girth measurements, and I'm going to use a tape measure, and and it's going to find the most narrow point of your torso, which is generally the lower end of the ribs. We found that it's found that correlation between a higher girth reading and chronic diseases like diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases. So it's going to take that measurement, and then we're going to look at that against the scale and see if there's any risk factors there. So if you just raise your arms up, it's going to bring this measuring tape around there, and what I'll get you to do is to breathe in, and as you breathe out, I'll take the reading at your last breath there. Yep. So that reading is 73.4 centimetres. The World Health Organisation has recommendations, and they recommend for females it's below 80 centimetres, and for males it's below 94 centimetres. So 73.4 centimetres, you're below that recommendation, so there is no risk factor there for that.